changed for the better, which it's good. But it's all the time back then, like when, like you'll see in the background, I have 7-Elevens like my favorite team, because that's the information I got and the things I read. I couldn't believe that an American team actually made it, to the Tour de France, and they were that team. And there were other Americans that had made it to the Tour de France, but nothing was really written about them. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate because they deserve, the spot in history as well.
But Le Mans was in the Tour de France in, was it 81, 83, and 84 or something like that? But he was racing for a French team, if I remember right, wasn't he?
Yeah, La Viclaire. Yeah. And he's something else. I really want to meet him. I live here in Reno, and I have a couple of magazines from the '80s that were on him. He's on the front cover and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping one day that I'll meet him and get him to sign him for me and just talk to him. Because one of the things that I was trying to do with Next Step Legacy, and it hasn't really come to fruition, is to maybe get a hold of some of these people, because they have it's not just the legacy in cycling that they did. I mean, that's just like the first part of their life. It's what's the back part of their life, how did you go from this and become a successful businessman? And like Greg LeMond became a successful business person.
Yeah.
In fact, I worked for a company that did composite ray domes and ray dishes, and they, on an aside, got asked to do, I think it was by Greg LeMond's dad, to try and do a composite fork for a bicycle he was trying to get together.
LeMond was one of the big components of carbon composite back in the 80s and 90s.
And we didn't get, that company did not get the job, but that was probably for the better. They're more into the military stuff anyway. But yeah, I mean, LeMond was somebody that woke everybody up. He's the one that got everybody to pay attention in the United States. He was the first one to get $1 million contract. I mean, all kinds of firsts that he did. And it's unfortunate. I mean, I went to Europe in 1977 after I got out of high school. And I was in France when the Tour de France was finishing, but the tour group that I was on wouldn't go there.
Oh, no. It's too bad. It's too bad.
So I missed that opportunity. And then when LeMond was there, I didn't make enough money to fly to Europe at that time to watch him do his thing. But he was just absolutely amazing. And they have, how would I say it? There are a couple of records here in Reno of going up the pass to Virginia City and down, and going up the pass. I think LeMond did it in some ridiculous amount of time, like 27 minutes or something like that, to get from the valley up to the top. And to date, I don't know anybody who's ever beaten that.
Yeah.
But it's theoretically an unofficial record, but it's not an unofficial record. So people here still talk about it. So it's, there's a lot of stuff like that in Reno. So it's been really fun to move out of LA and come up here. And it's been quite a joy to do that and raise a family up here.
That's cool.
So
have you read The Comeback about Greg LeMond? Have you read that book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's one of my favorite sports books. It's just such a well done book.
Yeah, it's a good book, and just talking about it reminds me of the time I got the news that it happened, that he got shot. And I'm like, what the hell did his brother-in-law do? But things happen.
Yeah,
things happen, and that was amazing. He came back from that at that level.
It was.
And to date, I don't know how somebody can do that, but he did it. And I'm still in awe at the guy. I wish I could have him here and do a podcast or a video cast with him and just talk about his history and his life. And I know that he, has had trials in his life. He got hit by a car and he was, had his back damaged and things like that. But he's still kicking and still moving.
Yeah. Guy with a lot of integrity. That's one of the things I really appreciate about Greg LeMond. He maintained an exceptional amount of integrity in situations where that was not the norm.
That's true. Yeah. The whole industry in cycling, when you read the history, it's kind of spurned with whatever it takes to get there. And, the riders will do what they can to get it. And it's not just the glory, it was the money, especially in the early days, because people needed money. And that was a quick way to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
But LeMond, he, in that time period that he raced, I think in the early 80s, maybe not so much in the late 80s, but those groups of riders were not doping as far as we know.
Yeah.
And I think you can take that slice or even just a few people out of there and hold them up as this is the standard you guys want to go to.